Today we're breaking down Pauline Hanson's dramatic spotlight interview, also delving further into her relationship with Tommy Robinson, and is it good news or bad news for her? And also Donald Trump's done it again. Tune in to hear what he's done now.
Greg.
G'day.
Hello.
Here we are.
Welcome back again.
Great
Fantastic for you to join us again, mate.
Yes.
I heard your best friend Pauline.
What happened?
And our best friend Pauline Hanson.
Yes.
The people out there might say that we're bad. We're not bad mouthing her. We haven't bad mouthed her. All we've said is we're on the fence and we're looking at things from both sides of the fence.
Just questioning things.
We're just questioning things, and there's some pros and there's some cons to everything. Your best friend though, Pauline.
What has she done?
She was on Spotlight.
I did. I watched it on Sunday. Yeah.
I didn't get to see it. Can you tell us, fill us all in, what happened?
It was very, very good. And also read in the newspaper the next day that the watchers that tune in unusually high. In actual fact, the numbers that 60 Minutes normally get was 500 or 600.
Wow.
At a good rating, 60 Minutes. Spotlight normally gets half of 60 Minutes numbers.
I was going to say.
They got almost 1 million viewers.
Wow.
On at the peak of her interview, and which it's staggering. So it was a 60-minute special on steroids.
So
there's interest in this woman.
Well, who would have thought? We're seeing that we are seeing that. So what were some of the things that she spoke about?
Well, the big thing was she hung around.
Because you just come back from the UK.
Yeah, she's back now. She was hanging around with Tommy
Robinson, yeah,
and they were like best buddies, and
yep,
they went into.
I saw that part.
And he comes from, I think it's Luton or something.
Luton,
which is a town. He grew up in Luton. He was one of the thugs of Luton, and at any rate, the whole place has become like little Pakistan. And of course,
most of England has.
Yeah, well, this is no more. This is where basically every second woman's got a full burqa on, the covering, and it's just like you.
Now, once again, guys, we're not saying pros and cons to any of this. We're just saying what it is.
Yeah, what it is.
We're just telling you factually what's there. We literally came back only a few months ago.
It doesn't look like England anymore.
No, we literally were there. We were only there a few months ago.
Well,
right?
we saw
this firsthand.
Walking down the main street, walking towards Buckingham Palace, and then past it through the Harrods.
Should have got out the camera. We should have got videoed it. We'll do that next time we're over there.
And it's England's not England anymore.
No. So anyway, getting back to Tommy and Pauline. So what happened?
Well, the reality was, they got on like good buddies and whatever,
Yeah.
and she was interviewing him and talking questions. The only problem that came out of that was that, Liam Bartlett put the hard word on him in a private interview. One moment they'll be interviewed together, him and Tommy in the car and walking the streets of Luton. Is it Luton? So
Luton,
and then next minute, Liam Barton has a one-on-one on the street.
So Liam Barton's the Spotlight.
Yeah, Spotlight interviewer. And he then had a one-on-one on the street with Tommy and asked Tommy some hard questions. And of course, Tommy didn't react well.
I was going to say, how did he react?
No.
He usually reacts. He's usually a bit prickly with the harder questions.
Well, he suffers badly from anger management. Number one.
Is this just you viewing it? This isn't your expert. You're not an expert in anger management, are you, Greg? You're not some kind of physician in anger management here. You're more so just saying, from your opinion,
yes,
he suffers from an anger management. Okay, what makes you think that?
Well, just the way he kept on responding, and also, all right, he got to the point where he was holding back from thumping Liam.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And all Liam was asking him about the truth.
Yeah. So I think I can't always. So when I've seen Tommy Robinson's interviews, he's definitely polarizing. There's no doubt about that. One thing I will say that you can't take away from him, he is bloody patriotic.
Oh, his passion.
He's passionate, right?
No,
and I have actually seen him. People say, oh, he's racist. I've seen him openly talk and discussing things with people of all colours and all walks of life. Yeah, I think so.
Look, there were some good elements there with him in the interview, and it went. But what I didn't like is that in the taxi, Pauline said, "Oh, you must come to Australia." He said, "Yeah, I'd love to go to Australia, but I've never been, never had the chance to go to Australia." And he's talking like that, and then of course Liam Bartlett then speaks to him later on and said, "Mate, you just told her a lie. I mean, you said that you hadn't had any reason to come to Australia, but you've tried 3 times, and 3 times you have been told you cannot come." I mean, that's a pretty serious, written on the file that you were told you can't come. Your profile, your CV.
This is, though, it's not the first controversial person that Labor has stopped coming into the country, though. It has
No.
happened before.
No, I know
right?
that. Oh,
Was it
look,
Donald Trump Jr., I think?
Yes.
Was it? And there was a few...
when I toured Mike Tyson, he was originally banned. He couldn't
Yeah.
come either. We had to jump through hoops.
So it's to be clear, it's not that this is a black and white,
Pick on him.
thing. It has happened to lots of different people.
Colourful CV is his
Yeah,
problem.
if you have a colourful CV, there's a gatekeeper, right? There's someone there. So anyway, I did hear the part though, because I think it was in the highlight part where Pauline said, "Well, if I'm the PM, you're going to be welcome to come on in."
Yes, basically what she said. She would give him a red carpet, but she did when Liam Martin told Pauline later on, he's told you a lie. She was disappointed, and she said, "I'm not happy that he told me a lie, and I'll deal with him on that." She sounded like the mother about to go and speak to her son.
Her naughty child.
Yeah, naughty child. But
Right.
I think he suffers. I think he's also a little bit of. I think he likes to tell a lie.
Tell us more about this, because we were talking about this before, and we both have a mutual friend that we know that is a compulsive liar. Compulsive liar. So it ends up being a bit of a running joke in the end, doesn't it? But
Yes.
so tell us what you notice with Tommy, because I'm not in agreement with everything that you say about Tommy Robinson. I think that there are parts absolutely that he's patriotic. He says it how it is, right? And he's cutting through the bullshit that a lot of politics has set up, right? And he's in a way sending a warning to the rest of the world that, hey, we didn't want this to happen here, and this is what's happened. If you and he's basically saying to Pauline, well, if you don't want this to happen in Australia, then we're a living proof of what can happen potentially.
Yeah, but he's going to have to deal with his lying, because this can be a pandemic in his life.
Yeah.
And I've actually had a conversation once with a guy who said he was a compulsive liar and he couldn't stop. And I actually interviewed him about it, and
You interviewed the compulsive liar.
I interviewed the compulsive
Yeah.
liar, and he said it's like you can't stop it. It's like an alcoholic.
Yeah.
And I said, wow, I'm completely different. I try desperately to be as close to the truth as possible. This guy tries desperately not to be close to the truth.
Yeah.
And
You'd
he
have to
loves
meet
it.
him.
He said it almost lights him up. It makes him excited that he's been able to stretch the story and change it and tell a lie.
So apart from that one that was caught out by Liam Bartlett, what do you feel there's been other holes in Tommy's story? Like, I know that you mentioned that he's got a very colourful history, but are you saying that there's other things that he's lied about?
Look, I don't have enough evidence on that. No, I can't say that. But what I did,
You think his mannerisms are saying that he comes across as kind of someone who is living on the edge?
always, he's a crazy. He's walking on the edge. He'd be a time bomb going somewhere to happen. I mean, if you're going to have a problem, if you had a business partner or you're married to this guy, you can expect drama all the time.
Drama and fireworks.
Because that's just the way he is. I mean, he thinks that building a police officer and jumping on his head was a self-defense.
Yeah, but once again, this is I get that, but it's never as black and white as that.
Well,
So
he
when you
reckons he
actually
was
go
protecting himself, he
Yeah,
said.
so he was actually acquitted of that. And it was actually blamed on the police officer for targeting him. So the courts actually sided with him on that. So this is where I think it's always and I did see that part. It's always careful, I think. So because I don't trust the government or anyone in particular, especially in areas of power, and the government is exactly that. When it comes to reporting that a lot of mainstream media does, and Spotlight is guilty of this, as is Channel 9, as is all of the mainstream media. They sensationalise things, right?
Yeah, they do. They tried to trap him, and
So
and
they
whatever.
actually have.
But look, just cutting to the end. Look, you're right. I think his passion to stand up for his country and patriotic towards his country was first class, and I think that's fantastic. If he can just try and channel it in the right ways, harness his aggression, try and tell the truth. Because he's a bit of a lovable rascal too, and so that's what gives him the shaft. And you can see he's a leader.
Yeah.
So, which is good. So there's a lot of great points about him. He just has to address. But I wanted to say one other thing about.
Yeah.
I read in the paper today. As you know, I love to read
Yes.
the paper every day.
We're all ready.
Donald Trump. What has he done?
You better not go and bag and doubt my mate Donald again. What's going on? What's he done now?
He's jumped out of the cake this morning, and he's announced that he's putting the head of FIFA. What's his name?
Infidel Infantino. Gianni Infantino, I think his name is.
Yeah.
What's he done with
He
him?
put him forward to be the general secretary, the leader
Right.
of NATO.
Of NATO. Of NATO.
NATO.
The leader of NATO. Well, I'll tell you what.
He wants him to resign from FIFA, and he wants him to take over as no. There wouldn't have been any sort of chat with there about when he made the phone call to get the guy with the red card that, mate, I've got a job for you.
I'm just sure he's just an upfront citizen, mate. He just sounds like But hang on a second. I'm going to challenge you here, Greg. This isn't the first politician that's done a backdoor deal with someone. I mean, we saw for a long, long time here in Australia, I think every Liberal MP that left all of a sudden was the head of some mining magnate company, weren't they, right?
Yes, all of them.
Well, all of them. Surprisingly, their CVs were a perfect description to get them a head role in a mining corporation somewhere in Australia.
Okay, you've got me on that one.
All right. So, yes, Donald does push the boundaries, but he's certainly not the first politician to do it.
I've just imagined the phone call that took place. That's all.
It would have been a funny phone call.
And he said, mate, I don't know if I can do. Oh, have I got a deal for you?
Oh, have I got a deal for you?
This is why I always laugh about Trump considering himself a great deal maker. He's not a great deal maker. He just carries the highest card.
But you know what? What he does, he carries the highest card because he makes sure that he's in the highest power.
He's got the Joker and the two Bowers.
When you're the president of the US, you're holding all the cards.
Well, you hold the card. You're not a deal maker. You're a standover merchant.
Well, exactly. Sometimes those lines can be blurred.
Oh, really?
Right?
Okay.
Donald Soprano, you reckon his name is?
I don't think he could sell anything to anybody.
Well, we're going to leave it there before we start getting too deep. It's an interesting take. It's going to be interesting because on next episode, I want to talk to you about one of my favourite politicians, the Beetrooter, and what he's been up to.
Oh, he's been in there. But remember, Pauline's been on the headline spotlight, the newspapers and whatever. What happened with all that controversy? Her ratings go...
It's through the roof.
I know.
That's
Isn't
right.
It amazing? And by the way, she did fumble and bumble away through that interview with Liam. It was like,
mate, I haven't seen. She fumbles and bumbles most of them, but it doesn't matter. Trump does the same thing.
Yes,
he fumbles and bumbles his way through. But you know what? People like that. It's not scripted. It's not like you look at Albanese's interviews. It makes you sick.
Oh,
it makes you sick. I mean, shocking. He's a crafted politician, but there's been so many of those guys.
Even his dog's breakfast, but
the public is sick of that bullshit.
Well, maybe they are. But look, Pauline, she got through the interview, and like she did with the national press conference, which was a train wreck, her ratings keep going up.
The thing is, I'll say just before we leave about my favourite politician, the Beetrooter.
Yes, Barnaby.
Beetrooter Barnaby. I always say you can tell the type of person they are on how they treat their dog. Did you see how he treated his dog in that interview?
It was a bit rough.
Hey?
It was a bit rough.
I always say you can tell the type of person they are on how they treat their dog. And he was happy to do that on national TV, screaming through the microphone at his dog.
Not his wife, not his children. But
mate, the dog. Man's best friend. You got to watch out for the Beetrooter, mate. He is bad news.
Thank you.
See you next week, guys. Thanks,
Bye.
Greg.